Hello, everybody. If you don't know who I am, my name is Andre Fox, and I have been building brands for the past 4 years. I have done it with my personal brands. I've done it with my, personal brand. And then I have also done it with different brands. I've done back-end automations with Iyenga Mental Health and Consulting, doing their back-end, payroll automations. I've done wholesale real estate jobs where I've had to get large amounts of data and get qualified leads from that using AI systems. I've also done a little bit of work with building websites. I've know how to market my content very well. I've done podcasts. I've done a lot for 18 years old. But today I wanted to show you my sales process. I got a good strategy and, I've been honestly building it with some of the best people out there. So, you might know them. There's Derek Rodriguez. I talked to Sam John Creates. I talk to anybody on Instagram doing their content and have private conversations. I'm not very out there in public with the private meetings, but I have had a lot of them with, even people like Ryan, no, what's his name? Brez Scales and his marketing team. I had a whole meeting with them, discussed about the plans on how they market their content, how I market my content, what we can do to help each other. I mean, it's been a long journey. So let me get into it. I'm enough yapping about who I am, I'm trying to convince you that I know what the fuck I'm talking about and just show you that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. All right. All right. So look, when you first get your plan, you honestly want to start with an IPO, all right? So just initial person of interest, basically. Who are you niching down to? What is like, what are their hobbies? What are they interested in? What doubts do they have about certain things? I have a whole list of it down here, right? Desires, fears, objections, the vehicle of how they get their goals faster, the identity, you know what I mean? What is your internal belief? Also things like, you know, let me think, just off the top, are you a cat or dog person? Do you like certain type of music? Do you align with certain political beliefs? You want to get this down. And once you get your target niche down, then you can start a cold DM strategy. Why I say cold DMs are the best is because honestly, you're reaching out to them directly. You know what I mean? And if you have enough, like backing and, videos posted out there and just like even like a couple of different pictures to show that you're official, they will get the understanding of that you know what the hell you're doing. They'll start a conversation with you as long as you have some sort of nice Instagram following. They might not talk to you if you're like, some dude who like posts bottles and drinks and goes to the club all the time, but like, like if you got a decent, nice photo, they got you. So honestly, with my cold DMs, I try to make it really simple to understand of what I want to do, but also how much I've admired them as a person. I want them to feel like they are being treated. I don't want anybody in my space or who is working with me or for me to feel like I'm getting something off on them rather than they're getting an opportunity out of me. Because that's what it really is when you come down to it. I'm doing so much more work. I'm bringing you thousands of clients a day. Hello, Dior. I'm bringing you thousands of clients a day. And you're bringing in probably what? Let's say you sell a $50 product and you bring a thousand clients a month. My bad. My cat is distracting me, man. You in my video. All right. My bad. But basically, all you want to do is get the point across that you admire their stuff. You are a fan. You are someone who is almost trying to help them out. All right? That's the best way you can do it. Don't ever come off as like you're trying to sell them something. Come off as something like they're helping you out and you're helping me out. All right? So once you book your first meeting, because you will book a meeting, it's not that hard. All you have to do is be in their DMs and then be like, hey, are you free for a meeting anytime this week? All right. You chop it up with them like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I was thinking, could we ever hop on a meeting this week? Do you have time this week? If they say no, ask why not, just get a good meeting. Once you book a meeting, all right, they're interested. You hit them with a message like this, qualifying what your deal was, explaining what your deal was, saying your interest in them as a person. So once you get a response, they already know what you're going into the meeting for. All right. These are essential questions that you have to ask. Of course, how much income are you making? What looks like good influence to you? You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there that have different views that they want to put out on the world per se. And how do you want to influence your audience? You know what I mean? That is very important with marketing. How are, we approaching your audience? Also, how much can you afford to spend? A lot of people don't realize that ads cost a lot of money, bro. Like, they cost a lot of money. And also, editors, ideas, creative directors, all of these things cost money. But luckily, I've been doing it for a long time, so I can do it at a lower rate and also teach people how to do it at a lower rate. So that's where my benefit comes in. I've just been doing this for so long, and I've taken 4 years out of my time to literally skip school basically and learn how to edit and learn how to do website design and learn how to do all this shit for you. So here you go. Here's a plan. You know what I mean? Also, when it comes to short form content, you either can do two specific things. You can just push mass amounts of content that isn't paid for at all out into the world and get millions and millions and billions of views. Probably billions, to be honest with you. Like, I've probably gotten at least like 3 million views on my channel, at least combined on all of them. So, just pushing out mass amounts of content without even paying for ads is a very, very good strategy. Ads are more for when you're trying to sell a product or you're trying to sell a service to a specific company. Remember, my client here is a course seller, all right? Like, I'm not concerned about, what type of person is really seeing it, maybe just for their personal page, but when it comes to selling their course, we're trying to get everybody to see it. We're trying to get every single person to see it. You know what I mean? Every single person interested in business, every single guy that's 18 years old and like is trying to make money. You're a course seller, bro. Push out your content, all right? So we have a whole strategy of how, okay, we take this specific software that we use. It's called Repurpose.io, and you can buy like access to 25 different accounts, all right? On an agency program for it. So you can get 25 accounts and you can set them up to where every time you post something on Instagram, every time you post something on TikTok, that video gets sent to 7 different pages with the exact same description, the exact same video, almost at the exact same time, every single day, on time, no matter what. All right. So we can get 7 to 25 different accounts, right? But the thing is you have to manage it. Like, there's certain things you have to set up in the automation. Sometimes shit goes wrong. Also, there's things that we use in the back end, NAN, which is a very good, almost like Zapier or Make. We have automations through NAN that we work through that literally bring you more clients just by commenting in the section, getting surveys, getting more information out of the people. You know what I mean? It's just a way better way of doing content rather than paying for ads when you have a course. Because when you have a course, it's everybody. When you have a service or product, it's specific people. All right. Now that you understand that, you go down to the second meeting. All right. In the first meeting, you discuss at the end of it if you want to make mock-ups. You're going to make mock-ups, mock videos that for what their content is going to look like. Maybe even an Instagram page to see what the profile is going to look like after. You know what I mean? There's different things like documents, Notion documents, content planners, task managers that you all need to set up. Show them a page for their Facebook ad campaign, what it would look like, what you invest in. You know what I mean? What the average CPM would look like. You know what I mean? Or CPL, to be honest with you. And then you come up with your price. You don't ever mention your price at the beginning because that scares people away. You know what I mean? You mention your price at the end after you've given them all the information that they need to give and they have more time to ask about questions. But this is just my basic sales process of how I go through things. I find my client that I want, my ideal client. I send him a DM. All right. I send like maybe 100 DMs a day. All right. Then on top of that, once you get the meeting, you ask them essential questions about their business. All right. Then you try to understand what strategy they can use. All right. So I haven't written them in on here yet. I'm just like kind of starting this at least side over here. But on this side, I've completed it all. You know, there's a client strategy and a product strategy. With the products, you want to make AI photos, you want to use paid advertisements because AI photos are cheap. You also want to get you want to get your brand identity focused. Also, you know what I mean? Like with clothing brands, you know what I mean? You want to get creators. There's a whole different strategy that goes with it rather than personal branding and course selling and, like YouTubers and, Mr. Beast type content. It is a completely different strategy. So, if you want more content like this, just let me know. But yeah, this is basically my sales process, man.